Alright guys, welcome to another video. Today giving you some extra really important TBC classic news about drums and a few other things like that. Full credit goes to Scotty J. He keeps hooking me up with all of this information, so you should definitely check out his channel in the description below. Basically makes very similar content to mine about, TBC and everything like that. But anyway, so this is basically essentially an interview, and it's an interview on a Czech website. You will actually have to translate it. I think this is why not many people have discovered it yet. But this Czech journalist has essentially got an interview with John Haidt and Brian Birmingham. I'm not really sure who those people are, but I imagine they are important when it comes to TBC Classic. Let's just, get on with what is actually important. So the first thing we're going to highlight is leatherworking drums. So if I highlight this here, in fact I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see better and go full screen. So the team is currently looking at how it could possibly adjust leatherworking and drums of war. The developers do not want the raid to need 25 players who have leatherworking. Okay, so to me that basically means they're going to rework it to make it more balanced, which is a godsend. This is great, okay? The game will be on patch 2.4.3, so obviously that means we, as the players, are going to be naturally very buffed for the content, so hopefully they will buff the raids in accordance to that, or like, nerf drums or something like that. We'll see how that turns out. Anyway, let's moving on. World buffs, you can't get them above level 63, so that's great. Nobody's going to be exploiting world buffs anymore going into TBC raiding, so again, this is another great godsend. Next big thing, we basically have Wrath of the Lich King confirmed, like a 95% confirmed, because it says here currently the team is open to working on Wrath of the Lich King data disc in the future, but it's only up to the players. And let's be honest, a lot of people are going to be jumping on to play Wrath, so that basically means we're getting Wrath. I mean, they said this about TBC when Classic came out, TBC Classic came out, we're getting Wrath. It's just happening. There is something a little bit concerning. I'm not sure what to think of this little bit here. So it says here they are considering temporarily increasing the capacity of individual realms and will probably reintroduce layering to the busiest realms. Okay, so the issue I can see with this is, again, like, if there's too many people playing in Outland, first of all, it's going to be laggy as hell, it's going to be difficult to do your quest, and more important, it's going to be difficult to get nodes. For instance, elementals or, mining nodes. Obviously, layering will counteract that issue, but then I'm starting to think that people can exploit layering to get even more, modes of fire and everything like that. So we'll see how that turns out. I think they should just, honestly, just make more servers and reduce the cap than it is right now, if I'm going to be honest. They probably won't be able to do that now, but the player population on each server is just way too high. It's why it's so difficult to get Black Lotus. It's why it's inflated the economy of a lot of items. But anyway, talk about that in a different video. Let me talk about more important news. It says here they are not touching any of the old school raid achievements, so that's a great thing. We will need an achievement for Karazhan and everything like that. Hopefully it will also be reverted requirement to get into heroic dungeons. I presume this part here is talking about the guild bank, which has been badly translated. So it's saying that game features like the guild bank will be judged by Blizzard individually. So we may not get the guild bank straight away, and maybe all the elements from the game, like badges of justice, dropping from raids, like stuff like that, may not be available at the beginning. It looks like they are looking at it on a case-to-case basis, which is good, instead of just shipping it with everything like standard. It also looks like they are going to increase the dungeon cap, so you can only do 30 dungeons per day on Classic WoW right now. This has been badly translated again, so I wouldn't even recommend reading it. So, TBC dungeons are shorter, so they're thinking about increasing the dungeon cap. This is great when people are obviously farming a lot of reputation and things like that. Last thing really is the fact that they are shipping TBC Classic with post-patch 2.2 Azeroth. It basically, in that patch, they squashed the amount of XP required to get to level 60, and level 70. Well, actually, I think it might just be level 60, to be honest. And then they added a few quests and just improved the old zones, essentially, to make them a bit more buffed out, bulked out with quests and things like that. So just expanded the quest hubs a little bit, and they changed a lot of the elite quests that you have to do in a 5-man group to be able to, you can just essentially solo them. There still is a group quest, but the elite areas and stuff like that, is fortunately they did actually remove that, like Dunga Rock or whatever it's called, you know, all those elite dwarves you have to kill on the horde side. So yeah, but anyway, last thing I really like about this interview is they said that Blizzard had no idea that Classic would be so successful, and the Burning Crusade Classic was the answer to the fact that everything worked out and the fans wanted it. So yeah, I think it is interesting how Classic WoW has become so incredibly popular. I think Blizzard probably don't want to admit that, like, you know, all the changes they've made to, you know, World of Warcraft over years, well, not everybody, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and people do prefer the older version of the game, you know, before all the improvements that they added. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, guys, that is everything from this article that is, you know, important. The rest is just kind of filler information, sentimental stuff. But anyway, my name is MetaGoblin. To the next video, ciao.